Hi, welcome to Forbest Question and Answer. What we've done right now is we've taken the top 4 questions that we get asked the most, and we want to answer those because without these questions being answered, it's hard to make the decision. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, what is the difference between Forbest and other cameras? Well, the difference between Forbest and other cameras, and I can tell you this after being in the Houston territory for the past 8 years, let me tell you one of the differences. When you buy a box camera online or you buy a box camera from a big box store or something of that nature, who repairs it? You can't get parts for it. So I have customers that come to me and say, I'd like this camera repaired, but I'm not able to find parts for it. Even though it looks almost the same, they are not the same. The difference with Forbest and all these other companies is Forbest has 2 repair locations. We have one on the East Coast and we have one on the West Coast. You are welcome at any time to call our toll-free number or our centers. If you will Google them, you will see those centers come up. Somebody will answer the phone and tell you how to get us a repair. So you might say, hey, I kinked my push rod. What would happen then is we would tell you, we don't need the whole camera system. What you can do is just send us the yellow reel, and what we'll do is we will terminate where you kinked it, and we'll put a new cone and a new circuit board in there and send your reel back to you. In the meantime, what we always tell customers is when you buy a small camera system, buy an extra reel, or when you break your reel, have us ship you an extra reel, so you always have a backup reel. The same thing with the heads. The camera heads are very affordable compared to the other competitors, and so you can always have a backup reel and a backup head, especially when you're running multiple systems. I have customers that run multiple systems, and when they do, they keep a backup reel and a backup head, sometimes 2 or 3, depending how they're using it. And the most important thing is, when you buy one of these, call us and allow us to train you by phone or watch our videos, because watching us use them is the same way that you're going to use them. One of the other questions that I get asked a lot is, what parts break the most on cameras? And that's a great question, but let me tell you, whether the camera is any brand out there, whether it be Rigid, General, Spartan, Forbest cameras, Hawthorne, any of those cameras, what we see the most is kinked push rods. Guys kink the push rods. That's one of the #1 repairs of all cameras, is kinked push rods. The older the push rods, some of those push rods get, the more you see kinks, because the durability and life goes out of it. The second thing that we see a lot is because when you drive that camera through a T and through an elbow, it has to hit it. A lot of times we will see a short in the cone right here, so it doesn't matter which brand you're running. At some point, that has to be terminated and that cone has to be back. It's not a kinked push rod, but inside of all cones there's wires, and over time those wires become stressed and tired and they have shorts in them. And then the third most repair that we see are the spring, the cords in the wires in here. There's wires that are protected, but over time, because of the bleach and the products in the pipe, they tend to get weak, and those wires either have to be replaced or the head has to be replaced. But we can only know that once you send it in and allow us to take a look at it. So whenever you break a camera or something, all we need is the camera and the reel. Usually you send those into us, we can get them tested and back out to you quick. We don't take 3 weeks to do camera repairs. We're a lot faster than most companies, and with only having to ship this, you should be able to ship this to us for about $13. So we hope that answers the question on what breaks the most on cameras. On the Forbest, if your battery goes bad, the way that we have these set up, if you get rained on or something and the battery goes bad, you can literally just take the battery out. We can ship you a new battery and put it back in. In the meantime, you can use the AC adapter. If your screen breaks, you can send us the control station, take everything out so it's lighter on shipping, send us the control station and we'll replace the screen. If you think that you're able to replace the screen, we can walk you through a small tutorial and tell you how to do the screen replacement in your shop and send you the screen. The third question I get asked a lot is, what camera is the best? Everybody always asks me, Andrew, what camera is the best? What camera is the best? This is what I tell them. All the cameras are the same. What makes them different is the guy using them. The guy using the camera is what makes the difference. If I've got a guy that's wide open and everything he does is with his foot to the pedal, he's gonna kink any push rod I give him. So what makes one camera better than the other? It just depends on the guy using it. I've kinked one push rod of these in the past 8 years. I was out with a mechanical contractor and I've kinked one push rod. Why? Because I always take my time. In my time in this service industry, I've used all of the brands. What I can do with this camera, I can do with the Sea Snake. What I can do with this camera, I've done with the Spartan camera. What I can do with this camera, I've done with the General camera and a Hawthorne camera. So all of the cameras along the way, it just depends on the guy using them. So you have to decide what your budget is for your entry-level camera or for your cameras that your guys are going to be using. You have to decide which guy is getting which camera, because I always recommend giving one guy one camera and being accountable. That way you can track his repairs, and you'll notice that on every team there's always one or two guys that have more repairs than anybody else. So which camera is the best? It depends on the guy using them. That's what it comes down to every time. I've had guys that have used this camera for 2 years and never had a repair, and I've had guys take it out on the first day and had a repair. Same thing with Rigid. When we sold Rigid, I had a guy take this Rigid camera out and bring it back to me 4 hours later. He had kinked it, and it was a brand new camera, first time out. So I'm just passing that along to you because that's one question I get a lot, but it comes down to preference. You know, what's the difference between a Ford truck and a Chevy truck? It's your preference. You might like Ford, he might like Chevy. And it's just a slight argument there, but it comes down to the guy driving it and what does he love to drive. If you love to drive a specific brand camera, keep driving it, enjoy it, keep making money and providing your customers a good service of being able to inspect the pipe. And the last question, what makes cameras break? Everybody wants to know what makes cameras break. The number one cause to break all cameras is impatience. Impatience. There's always tricks that you can do to help you move the camera down the line. If it's a dry cast iron pipe, you need to put some water down it. I've seen guys put soapy water down it just to get the pipe slicked up and moving. It depends on what tricks you have to do to get through the job. Not all pipes want to. We've all been somewhere and you can't push your camera 30 or 40 feet because of different, maybe the way the pipe was set up or there's a backwards fitting in the pipe. So what makes cameras break is impatience. A little patience and your cameras will last. And I hope these questions have been satisfactory to you. These are our most asked questions. If you have any questions that you would like to ask us, feel free to call us or email us, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you're trying to make a decision today, reach out to us and talk to us, and maybe we can help you in that process. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.